All right, we're watching some historic in Magic Arena today. Video is slightly, ever so slightly spread up. And we're drinking a Guinness. I guess that's what you're supposed to do. That's what I do, at least. So, we're off the bat. Looks like a mono red deck. Mono red versus mono red. Do have two Muxus in hand, although if we never get up to that much mana, if we get blitzed here by this red deck, we might not be able to cast it. So I go ahead and use the flame-based bolt. I just feel like he's developing the board quickly here. I don't want to take too much damage, because I need at least one more turn before I could play anything. And the Scorch Spreader works really well, because it's going to buff his other creature. So we're kind of feeling the pressure already here from this mono red deck, as you do when you play red. So we're going to go ahead and use the Matron, kind of search for a Chain Whirler, I believe is what we're going to do here to kind of take out those spitters. Whenever it attacks, it does an extra damage. Direct damage. So next turn we'll drop the Chain Whirler. We know we have 4 mana. I mean, we're only 2 away from Muxus. After that, yep, and now his creature is buffed. We're gonna go ahead and just block out the Matron. She did her job. She's sacrificing for the good of the goblins. But that 3/3 double strike, we don't need 6 damage this quickly. Okay, we're gonna get another mana. 1 mana away. One more draw of a mountain from Muxus. I'll go ahead and play out the Chain Whirler. Assuming he has lots of ways to... Okay, 1/1 first strike. To buff his Pyroling. We get another Matron. I think at this point we're going to go ahead and search again. Probably for the Warlord, just to reduce so we can get Muxus out sooner rather than later. Although Krenko is a good one as well. Bolt me. There you go. I mean, not bolt. Shock. Light up the stage. That was a big card when it first came out. I think for an uncommon, it used to be in paper a little... I mean, not expensive, but more pricey than most uncommons. A Ginger Brute, again. I gotta remember that. That's a good card to draft in the... You were doing the Throne of Eldraine draft. So now we have enough for Muxus, and I think at this point you just when you have Muxus, you cast Muxus. I think is usually the strategy for this one, for this deck. Oh, brings out 2 Chieftains, a War Boss, a Battlecry Goblin, and a Resigns. I mean, pulling out 4. I mean, looks at the top 6 cards and pull out 4 is a doozy. Get some good luck on that one. Ready up. We'll jump right back into the next game here. So off the bat, we like seeing the Wily Goblin to get that treasure token out early. We have a flame-based bolt in case he's got anything quick, and then a Snoop we could drop down. It's pretty decent. Oh boy. I think we pass here. I mean, Goblin versus Goblin deck, well, we'll see what else he plays. So usually I like to 2-drop the Wily. So this, next turn, if we draw a Krenko, we could drop another mountain and then use the treasure token. Let's see if he's also running. Oh, used to use that card as well in Ravnica when this came out. 2 damage to target creature or destroy a permanent. Okay, I mean, we don't really want him to use that Prospector's ability to ramp at all, so, I mean, we'll just trade that. That's fine. And we do get a mana. Let's put this... Yeah, I think you put the Snoop out here. See what's on top. All right, we got a Kranko coming up, so we can cast that next turn. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this 2/2. Thundering Rebuke. I mean, the Snoop is good, but I don't know if it's that good that I would do the Thundering Rebuke on, especially if you knew I had Kranko coming out, assuming that he had... I mean, I thought was he probably has another removal here then for the Kranko. Because he knew it was on top of the library. Oh, and we top deck the Muxus, and here you see the treasure token just come in big. Just to get that out. And we only get a Chain Whirler. But it does take him out there. So that time only one Goblin comes in off Muxus, but we'll go ahead and Kranko. At this point, he's got to do something here. So he's playing a type of Goblin deck. Or he's just in big trouble. We'll go ahead and just Kranko again. And he resigns. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why he removed the Snoop when you saw Kranko was on top. But we're just breezing through him here. Searching for the third game here. Goblin deck winning more than I would expect. I wouldn't say it plays itself, but it really comes down to turn order. You know, what order you play, what do you grab with the Matron. So we'll do, I think, 3 more videos here. 3 more matches, I should say, not videos. So I see, you know, Wily Goblin, an opening hand, and the Chieftain, and a War Chief. I really like that, and you kind of just hope you draw into something. You draw into the Muxus or a Matron to grab the Muxus. I mean, you'll have 4 mana on turn 3 here, so pretty good. Okay, so he is playing with the new cards from the new set. I actually really liked Neon Dynasty. Definitely having some... So, play out the War Chief. I mean, this... Shrine decks, we know, are tough because they have board wipes in them. And board wipes are the weakness of the Goblins. So we'll see what he does. Expecting at least 1 board wipe. Okay, so again, that's a great card to do damage to any target. He could kind of pick off the Goblins. He only has, I think, 2 shrines. Decide to play out Kranko again. When we have Kranko plus haste, and then I'm going to play the Chieftain out, and I'm going to get rid of the treasure token, which I like to save, but just to get above that shrine. I forgot the name of that card that he played out, that enchantment he played out, because he's going to start to do damage, direct damage to creatures with it. Again, just... Alright, I think he has 2. Now, I don't understand why he targets the Wily Goblin there and not the Chieftain, because the Chieftain is buffing all my creatures. I mean, he's kind of... I mean, the game's over at this point, unless he board wipes. So maybe it doesn't matter. And he does it, and he's not... And he is going to resign. Again, I mean, when you're playing against the Goblins, like, you just have to kill... You have to get rid of the Kranko immediately. And if you don't... especially if it comes out with haste, you're going to lose. So I think I enjoy goblins because it's just winning through combat damage. It's not like all these planeswalkers or tricks. It's gonna just attack you over and over again until you have no life. Very classic Magic. Don't know why my avatar is Bolus. Okay, we don't get the den too much. Let's see. I mean, we've got 3 mana. Again, we can't play anything till turn 3, so this I would consider a slower hand for goblins. Now, do you keep this? Do you mulligan? I'm not sure. And then we're going to have to pass turn again. Now, if our opponent had a very fast opening, we'd be in trouble. Now we are pulling land cards, which is good. So the question is, do you put the Bandit Lord out first? I mean, because the Goblin Chieftain is just a target at this point to get. I mean, he's running red. I mean, he has a lightning bolt on his sleeve, so I'm assuming he's got some direct. I mean, I guess I shouldn't assume anything about that, but he could have direct damage. And putting out your right, Fry does not work against red, but the Chieftain's definitely a target. So this is daytime. Whenever it switches, he's going to discard 2 cards and draw. So, again, I play out, when I have haste, I play out Krenko. That's usually the strategy here. We'll go ahead and attack. We'll see if he wants to. Yeah, usually like this, the players aren't going to sacrifice the creature they just put out, so you get some easy early damage. And again, when you're playing goblins, that early damage doesn't come back to haunt you. We're just not going to block. I don't really. Oh, 3 damage to all creatures. That was Sweltering Suns. So yeah, board wipes are really bad against goblins. I mean, are very effective against goblins. They're bad for you if you're playing them, so you just lost Krenko and all your tokens. You're about to win the next turn effectively, but I consider attacking with the Den just to do damage. I figure I gotta kind of establish the board again. Let me get a creature out there. Because I feel good because I have Muxus, so that could also be a problem for goblins. He draws the second card. He does 3 direct damage to any target. He can start picking off the goblins. So I decide, let's roll the die. Let's see what we get here with the Muxus. Okay. A Krenko and 2 Snoops. Now, unfortunately, we don't have. Do you play out the War Chieftain to get haste? Then do you Muxus? I don't know. I decided to put Muxus on, and we'll see. Well, if he can't get rid of Krenko, we'll start cranking out those tokens next turn. So another Pyromancer. So if he draws another card, which he does with cycling, I mean, he could do. He's going to kill. Oh, right. He reduced Krenko to 3/3, and then the Krenko died. Oh, and that's the issue when you don't have the haste. So now we know he's got board wipes. We know he's doing lots of damage with these Pyromancers with cycling. So I decide let's just attack. He's got it blocked in 9/9. Okay. So we get him down now. He could just take out the War Chieftain if he wants, or someone else. I'm a big fan of the Saga cards. I think they're really well designed. Although at this point in the game, it might be a little slow. Let's see what he does. Okay, he gets an Ox. It's a great card. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure what he's thinking about. You should definitely just play this to draw 3 cards and activate his Pyromancer for 3 damage. Or maybe he's just selecting cards to escape it. Okay, let's see who is he going to Pyromancer. Yeah. Drop them all down. Can we have Shatter Skull? Like, do we play that? This is where the Wily Goblin again shows its versatility, even as a 1/1. So we're going to play it out here. Get the treasure token, go back up to 4 mana, I believe, to do the den. Again, we don't use the den too much here, but it does look like we'll sack that treasure token. We bring out the 3/2 goblin and the 1/1. It's going to create the 1/1. Incredible. It's just, yeah, it's a very interesting. To have a land card basically come out with 2 attackers is a real doozy. Didn't need it, but still puts the pressure on. And there you go. You see, I mean, that win kind of showed off a bunch of the deck. We survived a board wipe, which is rare, or not rare, but you're gonna have to overcome them. You only board wiped once. Okay, ready for the True Mortal. New opponent. I think what's fun about Historic, at least at this level, when you're playing Bronze, Silver, working way up, I mean, every single person has a different deck. We don't think, I mean, we played, I think, 2 Goblin decks, so we've played something, but this definitely, I think, shows you why Magic is such an endearing game and why it's been played for so long. It's just the amount of combinations and play styles is fascinating. So again, is that a good move to Flame Bait Bolst him? I don't like it as Death Touch. Just kind of want to get rid of it. I want to be able to kind of command the board, and there comes, oof. This card has just been the bane of my existence since M20. I've lost plenty of games. It's a really, really good card. I decide to do War Chief here, and he can't buff. I think again, with Goblins, I'm all about just getting the damage in as quick as possible, seeing how the game goes. So, and he doesn't. Yeah, I think he can buff the Knight here in attack. He chooses not to. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's expecting a lot of Goblins out and he wants to defend. Okay. Now we do Matron. What do we search for here? Again, I think one where I can improve is getting the searching for better Goblins. Sometimes I don't really know. I think I go for Krenko here because I do have haste online. I think that's usually my thought process. Like, next turn I could drop Krenko and start making tokens. It's like, do you get Chain Roller to take out the Vampire? I'm not sure. This is a cool card. I liked he's playing with this Underworld Sentinel. So I think he attacks with it. When he declares attack rate, exiles a card. And then if the Sentinel dies, he could play the exile card, I believe is how it works. Love when Battlecry Goblin only costs 1 to cast. Go ahead and make a bunch of tokens. Now, do you wait and just keep as many tokens as possible so you could have them to multiply next time? No, you just put the pressure on. I mean, Goblins just pressure, and kind of make your opponent really. He's kind of, I don't want to say desperate, but he's next turn. If I Krenko again, he's gonna lose. I don't really care about. Now that's the card that he is exiled here. The Assassin basically has lore, if anyone remembers lore from Alpha, but has lore. If it attacks, everyone that can block must block, and it has Death Touch. It's super cool. I love that. Loves using lore. back in the day. So yeah, you knew. Okay, so he does have a way to get rid of Krenko. That is a good for him. I tell him nice. Okay, but we do still have a lot we could play thanks to the War Chief. And yeah, we have the Goblin Chieftains to buff. So I think here we're gonna Goblin Chieftain. I think you just play another, because now all those tokens are 4/4s. And just attack with everyone. Right now we Battlecry Goblin in case another token. At that point, I don't think he could block this. I didn't even do the math there on what was his life gain. He could have got from the lifelink, because lifelink does, we'll say, resolve before you die. So you could potentially go under 0 and then life gain, lifelink your way back up. All right. I think this is the last match here. Play one more. I feel like we're moving up pretty briskly. Haven't lost yet, although a loss is coming. So turn 1 Ruin Crab. So right off the bat, this is a mill deck. So every time a land comes in, I mill 3. That is Wall of Lost Thoughts. I built a deck, a paper deck once, a modern deck that was used Wall of Lost Thoughts. I don't think I ran Ruin Crab, but it was a mill deck. It didn't win too much with it, but it was definitely fun. And again, gets your opponent to sweat once their card total gets starts getting low here. But he's done a lot of mill already. Okay, now he's gonna crack Fable Passage, search, and then the Ruin Crab will activate again. Yeah, Fable Passage, great card with Ruin Crab. We've got to start making moves here. Now this is where the game comes down to turn order. You know, what do you play? What do you search here for a goblin? Do you play a war boss to start attacking with the token that you could buff, because he's got all defenders effectively? And I go ahead and do Matron, and I think, I don't know. Now I think my thought process here is get Krenko out, and I have to overwhelm him with the tokens. He's gonna mill me to death here. Oh, great card. I do get another Matron, so I have an ability to search again. I'm gonna put this out again. Doesn't have haste. It's gonna slow me down big time. And so now Krenko doesn't untap. There's another turn where I won't be able to use its abilities, but we can do Muxus here. Thanks again to the treasure token. I mean, we only get a Krenko and Chain Whirler. I actually misclicked there. Said, which one do you want to keep? Now, again, if a War Boss had come out with haste, I could have immediately tapped one of that Krenkos, and I think would have been in a good position to win. I am milling a lot. I'm already down. I only have 13 cards left. Yikes. So yeah, when you're playing a deck like this, you need the haste cards. Oh, we get a Muxus. That's not what we needed to top deck. So I think this turn, do you go get the War Boss? Is that the right move here? So you got 3 mana to cast. I'm sorry, the War Chief. I do that, so we get haste. We're going to activate. We're going to get a ton of tokens. We're going to go ahead and attack with everybody. Are we a turn too slow? That's the question against the mill deck. Ugh, get him down to 8. So we've got 9 cards in hand. That is not a lot. I mean, 9 cards left. Oof. Down to 5. Down to 2. Does he have anything? Oh. Oh. Yeah, again, if we just had Cranko a turn earlier, we would have won. And he passed his turn and we lose. So Goblins finally meet their match here. We will be back. I think this deck can get to gold. So we'll see what happens.